Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Mehraj. And let's take a look at your question. You say, number one, in some of the reading passages, I'm not able to read the whole passage in a minute. In that case, do I have to attempt quiz? Or do I have to go on and read the passage until I finish within a minute? What I would do is, okay, here's what you want to do. These speed reading practice tests are designed to start off with only 100 words and to finish with the 70th practice test at 350 words, right? Now, when you go to the very first one, hopefully you can read that one in 1 minute. That's 100 words a minute, right? So if you can do that, you read the passage, then you take the quiz. Now the main thing is you want to score 80 or 8 out of 10 or higher before you move on to the next practice test. Now to answer your question is if you cannot finish the passage within a minute, now it might mean that you need to go back and focus in my vocabulary section more and to familiarize yourself more with vocabulary in English, because if you can't read it in a minute and you find yourself not being able to do that, it might be because there's too many unfamiliar words that you don't know. But how about this? Let's say that you do the first practice test at 100 words a minute and you do it fine and you get 80 or higher. And then you do the second practice test, which is 105 words a minute, and you do that okay and you get 80. And then let's say you do the third one, which is 110. And on this one you only get 70, right? Or you can't read it, finish it within a minute. In that case, I would finish reading the passage in however long it takes you and then take the quiz. If you don't score 80, then maybe retake the quiz again until you get 80 or higher. Now, if you're at the low end and you find yourself having trouble reading even at 150 words a minute with 80% comprehension, you should probably stop taking the practice test and focus in my vocabulary section and also focus on what's called extensive reading. It means you need more practice reading English, especially longer books, and to familiarize yourself more with the grammar, the vocabulary, and the organization of reading passages in English. Okay, number 3. You say, I did some of the speaking sections and I'm waiting for your grade. Hopefully you got your grade by now. Either I listened to the responses at my VoxyPop discussion group or my IBT speaking specialist does. So it should be graded within about 1 day. Okay, you say you want to focus on the writing and the speaking areas. You said, I'd like you to tell me one more thing. I'm doing only 1 recording a day, but sometimes it is not within 24 hours apart. The reason for this is I have a 4-month-old baby and he's a little cranky. Yeah, I can imagine. A good vocabulary word, by the way, cranky. That's a word that you really have to have some very good English proficiency to know that word. That's a word that we use a lot in English, but not a word that international students are very familiar with. So I think what you're asking me here is you're asking me if you can post more than 1 speaking practice test per day. And the answer is no. It doesn't matter why you want to post more than 1 per day, but if you do that, then everybody else does that. And then pretty soon I lose control over my VoxyPop discussion group, and then people start posting more and more and more, and it becomes impossible for me to get them all done. Remember that the service that you're paying is only $35 a month, and to keep it affordable, I have to keep this affordable for my students, is I can only allow 1 practice test per day. Because if I do more than that, that means I have to hire many workers, many IBT human raters to listen and comment on those speaking practice tests, and then it starts costing me a lot of money and then I can no longer stay in business, because the only way I can stay in business, obviously, is if I can make a profit. And I'm barely, just barely making a profit right now. So, now I should tell you that I do have an additional service that allows you to post up to 3. Hold on a second. It allows you to post up to 3 practice tests per day. You'll notice if you go to my my pronunciation or my speaking section, there is what's called an error correction and diagnostic service for all of my Speak Clearly lessons, and you can also post all of your practice tests at that discussion thread. You've probably seen, I think there's at least 3 students right now using this service. One of them, if you go to my Voxipop group, her name is Adriana. The other student who's using my Voxipop discussion group and using this additional service, her name is Fong. So if you want more special attention, I do have an additional service that allows you to post up to 3 pronunciation or TOEFL speaking practice tests per day. And guess what? If you pay for this additional service, I will cancel your subscription, so you no longer have to make the immediate payment of $35, and you will have 6 months access to my online TOEFL course. So something to think about. Alrighty, anyway, thank you very much for your comments. I hope that I've given you some information to kind of get you going in the right direction. And anyway, all the best to your high-scoring TOEFL success.